Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another week of Force of Will news. So it's been a while, so I'm pretty excited to get back in the swing of things here with the news and everything else on the channel. So thanks you guys for bearing with us, and we'll see how this goes. As always, before we get started, thanks as always to Happy Little Hug Factory for sponsoring the channel. If you guys are looking for Force of Will singles or sealed product, including pre-ordering the next set of Force of Will coming out in January and a bunch of cool singles from the new set, be sure to visit the link in the description below to visit Happy Little Hug Factory. And make sure you click that link in the description so they know we sent you over. And they also have a buy list for Force of Will singles. If you're trying to offload some singles, check that out, see what they're looking for and the prices they're offering. And you might be able to switch in some cards for some singles. And yeah, probably too late to get to the ARG this weekend, some of the cards you might want, but you want to start planning for some of the stuff coming out later this year that we'll go over in the news today. The first bit of news is we got our second GP announcement. The first one was this past at Minneapolis. And so we got our new one, which is going to be December 15th and 16th, if I remember correctly. And this is going to be at the ARG qualifiers over in Orlando, Florida. So this is pretty cool. So it's going to be a ARG GP hybrid, essentially, with pricing for both. It'll have invites to Worlds, invites to the ARG Invitational, and play mats, a whole bunch of pricing. So that's going to be super cool to go to. As far as I know, I should be going there, and maybe Oscar as well. So we hope to see you guys there, but definitely look forward to that. I do hope we get the full GP announcements pretty soon here. I don't like the whole just announcing one GP at a time. An interesting side note is that Jeff, during his Q&A last time, had said that the Friday after his Q&A is when they were possibly going to be announcing the GP dates, and that would have been the first or second. You guys can look at what Friday that would have been. And so if it was a little bit later, that'd be fine, but we're, a couple weeks after that and still no word on what those GP dates exactly are. So hopefully we hear something soon, and I'm kind of curious why they delayed that a little bit. Maybe it's because they're still in the late stages of planning that ARG becoming a GP, and so they're adjusting accordingly down the line. But yeah, so hopefully we'll find out all of that information soon. So speaking of that, as I mentioned before, this weekend is going to be ARG States. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you check to see what ARG States might be happening in your local vicinity. And if there's one a little bit farther away, try and drive to it. It's not too bad. Me and Oscar are going to be driving a couple hours to go to the Dallas ARG, and then we're going to be driving a couple hours back, and then it's like an hour-and-a-half drive over to our Austin ARG and stuff like that. So we're going to be all over the place that weekend to cover a couple ARGs. So make sure you guys get to that. So it'll have a bunch of cool pricing, including this cool playmat, if I hadn't already shown that, which if you guys follow the Facebook groups at all, is a take on a meme with a the card, whirlwind, whatever. And so yeah, I'm pretty excited. I really hope I get that playmat. We also got our first look at the two promos for this upcoming month, so they're pretty cool looking. First up, we got Corpse Sorcerer, which is a pretty interesting looking card. It's a pretty decent card to have as a promo. I think it's yeah, pretty cool. And we also got Erendite, the Nitrogen Blade. So that's a pretty great card, and it's I don't remember if that was one of the more expensive ones. I think the full art was expensive for it, at least. So it's cool that we're getting a promo for that, because that's going to be a pretty useful card, I think, going forward, especially post-rotation. It'll be a great card. So it'll be good to get those promos while we can. These are part of the promos, I think, going forward, that you can only get if your store is registered within the program and emailed Rob and all that stuff. If you're not sure about all that, be sure just to message Rob if your local store hasn't already, to make sure they're all in order for receiving promos. Or check our previous news segments, either the YouTube video or on the website, tcgscrubs.com, where I laid out everything you need to do in order to get in proper with Force of Will. We also have currently, as we speak, an online tournament going on for Force of Will. So this is an unofficial tournament, but it has about $2,200 in pricing, I believe, and it has 150 participants, something around there. This is a tournament organized by Benjamin Bargetzi, one of the top players here in Force of Will. And so he put this tournament together, and instead of doing New Frontiers or Wanderer, they did what's called the Golden Age format, I believe. And so it's basically the cards that were printed anywhere from the Faria and Melgus decks all the way up to Vingolf 3. And it goes by those ban lists. So at the time, nothing inside of that bubble was banned, I believe. And so it's basically a free-for-all. You can use Levantine, you can use I forget what other combos people are using, but a lot of cool combos and strong themes are going on. But it's pretty interesting to watch. It's pretty diverse. You can see here we have the ruler breakdown, and so you can see there's quite a spread there going on. Right now it goes up till I believe December 2nd, and after that it breaks down into top 16, and top 16 will be playing until December 30th. And so we'll keep you guys updated on the results of that as it goes on, and once we hit those two different main marks of what decks that maybe are being played and who is in the top 16, etc. So keep your eyes peeled for that, especially if that's something you're interested in. Obviously it's too late to enter into the tournament, but it's cool just to see how they're playing out in case it's a format that other people might be interested in. This past week, we also saw the conclusion of the L0 judge test. In case you guys aren't keeping up, the judge program underwent a revamp. And so now we have an L0 level, which is basically they'll have a test and make it available online for 72 hours. Anyone can go and take it. And if you pass it, you're officially able to judge local events, small events like ARG States and different things like that that fall under that small umbrella. And then after that is when you're able to take the stepping stones, where if you attend a GP, you can then take the L1 judge test and so on and so forth. So this past one concluded already. This Saturday, there was some stumbling blocks. It was supposed to be released like 9 days prior or something like that, but they released the incomplete version of it. And so that was floating around, and then they finally we're trying to figure out some details, and for some reason it took an exceptionally long time for it to be officially released, but it got out there and hopefully everyone was able to take it that wanted to take it. I know myself and Oscar and Joey all took it. I don't know how we did. They're going to be hand grading it, so we haven't gotten the results yet. So hopefully they won't take too long to get those results, because ARG States is this weekend. So I'm hoping we get those results before then at least. If you want our full thoughts on the test, as well as the full breakdown of all the questions on the test, be sure to check out our most recent podcast from yesterday, where we went over every single question and everything in that test and gave what we think might be the answers or incorrect answers. We'll find out, as well as our overall thoughts. If you missed or failed this test, don't worry. In every quarter, they'll have the test released again, just a different version of the test, probably updated questions or different things and all that. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. So not all hope is lost if you did not get through it this time. Moving on to another card game, we got some Transformers news. So some big news from Transformers is, for a while people were kind of curious what was going on there, because it wasn't in Canada because of different things. I think it's like tax or tariffs, I don't know, a bunch of weird stuff going on, so they weren't able to ship the game to Canada. And the Transformer company officially announced on their Facebook that Transformers is officially available in Canada. They're starting shipping and all that. And so that's pretty exciting. I assume you can tell your locals so they can get the full information about it, and or contact Transformers to make sure they're doing everything correctly. But that's pretty cool, because the fear was that if it's barred from especially like places like Canada, that the game just won't be able to fully grow to its full potential. So now that it's there, pretty happy about that going forward for the game. Also, speaking of Transformers, this weekend we'll see the release of the Metroplex starter deck. So this is a starter deck that has the card that's twice as big as the normal robot card, which is already twice as big as your normal size battle card. So I'm super excited for that. I already have it pre-ordered and ready to pick up, so we'll have some videos regarding that. I have a video coming out this Friday that goes over the Metroplex deck before it comes out, so you guys know what it comes in it and what to look out for. So be sure to keep an eye out for that as well. And lastly, there's another card game coming out this weekend called Keyforge. This is a card game by the creator of Magic the Gathering, and this is super unique in the sense that you don't buy booster boxes or singles to build a deck. Basically, you go and just buy a pre-constructed deck, and this pre-constructed deck is going to be completely random in the sense of there will never be any two decks that are like each other. No matter where you go or where you buy the deck, it'll be completely different than any other deck. And so each time you buy a deck, it'll be a new experience. You don't deck build, you just buy pre-constructed decks. Oscar and I have a video coming out tomorrow, I believe, going over Keyforge briefly, and then we'll have box opening videos and a bunch of different Keyforge content. It won't be super consistent, but we'll see. I think Oscar had some ideas for it, but we'll see how it goes, because it's such a unique game. I'm not quite sure what to do as far as consistent content. We'll have stuff occasionally, but there might be some other stuff, especially if you guys really like what you see. I'm super curious how it's going to play it. It's very simple and straightforward, but it looks really cool, so I'm pretty excited to try it out. But yeah, that's all the news for this past week. Let me know what you guys think and what different pieces of news you're most excited for, interested in. And if we missed anything, let us know below. We're playing a little bit of catch up. Like I said, we've been out of the news cycle for a little bit, but I tried to get as much as I could that I thought was correct. And as always, if you want to see the article version, make sure to check out our website, tcgscrubs.com, where it'll be on there. And thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.